This is a sample of speeches made by each of the 13 candidates for councillor in the 2013 City of Fort Saskatchewan civic election. Every candidate spoke at the Chamber of Commerce election forum held Thursday, October 10th, 2013, and all are represented here.
There is a good argument for a new bridge to alleviate the bottleneck that we currently have daily on Highway 15. We need something, but a bridge will take time. Right now, we should also be looking at what can be done to help smooth the flow of traffic. I believe the Highway 1537 and Township Road 825 interchange should be looked at and possibly modified. I like the idea of public transit, but costs would have to be looked at. Is the city large enough to support it without being a huge burden on the taxpayer? Maybe not yet, but it will be soon enough if we keep growing at our current rate. Lastly, I've had many ask me about taxes and keeping increases to a minimum. I plan to be fiscally responsible. I believe the citizens want to know that their tax dollars are being well spent and increases are justified.
Why should you, the citizens of Fort Saskatchewan, give me a 4-year position working for you on City Council? The first reason I'm right for the job is I have been applying for this position for 7 months. I know nomination day was September 23rd, and the campaigns officially run for 30 days. I also know that this city has about 8,300 dwellings, and that I wanted my face, or a face for my team, in front of every single door. Unless you have a team of 20 full-time door knockers, this was a job that would take a lot more than 30 days. I would ask you to take out the handouts that you got on arrival, and you'll see that there's a copy of an article that was released in March of 2013, 213 days before October 21st, 7 months before the election. I want you to know that I'm serious about the job in announcing 7 months ahead of time.
I've come to realize that as a councillor, you're not just a voice for your demographic, you're a voice for the entire city, and all those voices want to be heard. If elected, I will focus on how we can ensure sustainable growth within our city. I'll explore ways to promote our local businesses as well as attract new businesses. I'll ensure that all major decisions are made accessible to all residents prior to final vote through multimedia outlets so that everyone has equal access to all the information. There's been a lot of discussion about what our future council is going to do with respect to sustainable growth within Fort Saskatchewan. I firmly believe that in order to be able to grow, we need to have a budget in place to maintain our current infrastructure. This will ensure that as we grow, the result of our beautiful city does not get neglected.
3 years ago, I stood here as I am today and I spoke of being part of an open and honest council. I have lived up to that statement as I have been open, honest, and in fact, I brought forward the transparency motion, which gives all residents the opportunity to review the individual council expenses online. I believe this was an important, huge step forward in not only being open and honest, but bringing a higher level of accountability to members on council and how we spend taxpayers' money while representing your interests. Continued investment in a fast-growing, thriving community is important in order to maintain the services that we all enjoy today in Fort Saskatchewan. These continued investments also play a huge part in attracting industry and business to our city, which brings in a broader tax base that benefits all residents. These business and industry investments also bring in stable, sustainable, good-paying jobs for residents, which in turn is reinvested in our community in forms of housing, vehicles, groceries, and services, thus strengthening our local business economy, creating a stronger and more vibrant Fort Saskatchewan. I'll also bring forward a motion to speak against extended paid vacations for members on council. I don't believe that a council member can represent the community that has entrusted them with their vote while on extended personal vacations in the same manner that they can while they're here in the community.
Most, if not all, of the candidates you hear tonight will tell you that they're in favor of transparency, low taxes, more and better in-town transit, a new bridge, a safe and caring community. And if they want to get elected, they darn well better be in favor of those things. The difference is, I've been working on many of those projects for the past 6 years. As a council member, I've worked on bringing you a new city hall, a new and still under construction 1875 fort, a bigger and better seniors lodge, and we've started construction on a new RCMP detachment building. As a councillor, I have helped to bring these projects from the talking stage, through planning, and into the build stage. And yes, there is a lot more to do.
So, where do we go from here? Obviously, some traffic patterns are needed and solutions are needed. We must work with our neighbours to form a strong voice to lobby the province. I don't support a south bridge, but I do support the need for an additional crossing in our industrial area, linking up with Highway 825. I want to see a task force formed to work towards this outcome. During the next term of council, discussions must start with our neighbours about land needs. As we approach build-out of our current land bank, strong, meaningful, but civil discussions must take place. I want to represent you at that table. Our local transportation needs will have to be addressed. A transit study has been completed, and a local transit pilot system is very close to coming to fruition. Aging in place near the new seniors lodge has to be addressed. I support this on the old hospital lands.
I am true to the words of my brochure. I live local, buy local, and promote local. I support affordable transit and affordable housing. My job takes me traveling a lot to places like Hinton, where they have half the population of Fort Saskatchewan and they have an affordable transit. Places like in BC, where they have also half our population, but they have affordable local transit. When elected, I will work diligently for the people of Fort Saskatchewan. I am passionate about this city. What a great place to live, work, and play.
This summer, we've seen increased frustration with our transportation corridor, so I formed the Citizens Action Group to build the South Bridge. We're circulating a petition to push the provincial government to fast-track funding for a desperately needed transportation corridor, leading me to my first policy that I would like to work on, transportation, not only with the Capital Region Board, but also within our city. I am as frustrated as you are with the delays in traffic, whether it's with synchronizing lights or eliminating congestion. We need to seriously investigate public transit, offering our seniors affordable mobility and our students a safe mode of transportation when the school buses have parked. We need action, and I'm willing to get these wheels in motion.
I host a couple different events for different charities here in the Fort, including Laughing for Love, which we just did on last Saturday for the Families First Society, as well as Music for Hope, which is done for the Alberta Cancer Foundation. Both of these are yearly events, and we're hoping to continue them as long as we possibly can. What I want to do for the Fort is increase the growth that the Fort has by assisting everything that's possible to do.
Fort Saskatchewan is fortunate to be able to offer a number of social programs that support quality of life initiatives for people of all ages. As couchsurfing is a reality for youth in our community, I believe the next logical step is to use existing infrastructure not only to expand current social programs, but also to develop a community outreach center that would house a youth shelter and community diner. I believe all youth deserve the right to a safe living environment and should be viewed as capable of changing, growing, and becoming connected to our community. I support the need for a cost-effective local public transit system in Fort Saskatchewan. It would improve the quality of life and provide independence for many of our city's residents.
And I'm here to tell you that we can do better. I've heard concerns about large rises in taxes year after year after year. We can do better. I've heard concerns about transparency that's not clear enough and accountability that's not present enough. We can do better. I've heard concerns about our debt, which increases every election, every year, every budget. We can do better. I've heard concerns from seniors and youth, from families and business owners, that we can do better.
In my campaign conversations with residents, they're telling me that Fort Saskatchewan should be a first choice for new businesses and new residents. Availability of residential land for development, but more importantly, commercial land, as we have a very limited supply. Annexation of land from the county is crucial to our city's growth. This may be the city and council's biggest challenge next term. Transportation corridor choices are extremely important to the community. Citizens are telling me maintaining our excellent city services is important in a cost-effective manner. Ensuring Fort Saskatchewan continues to be a safe and caring community. They'd like to see our local transportation improved. Fort Saskatchewan needs enhanced recreational and community services. Culture and recreation is a cornerstone to our community, and we need to find enhancements for use by all.
While door knocking over the past few weeks, I had the privilege to speak with an older gentleman named Henry. What I thought would be a 5-minute conversation somehow turned into a 40-minute conversation. I thoroughly enjoyed it. We discussed a variety of things, what I stand for, how long he's lived here for, and then Henry revealed to him what was really important. Where have all the songbirds gone? Took me back for a second. Henry explained to me that the falcons in our area are eating his beloved songbirds. I listened to Henry, and I made him a promise. No, I didn't promise that if I was elected, I would protect the songbirds. But I promised Henry that if elected, I would help him to be heard. I told him I would help Henry bring his concerns before City Council. I told him that if he needed a motion on his behalf, I would make it. If the plight of the songbirds is important to Henry,